we found a couple of gentlemen who help people get into homes, help people buy homes. Now let me say back your name. Pablo?
Yes, sir.
Pablo Estrada and?
Moises.
Moises, how do you say your last name?
Magana.
Moises Magana?
Correct.
Okay. We left a little thing off the end. I don't know if our program will do that. It's all right. Now, move up a little, Moises, closer to the microphone. Now, you guys help people who want to own houses.
That is correct.
Who should be buying a house?
Everyone that's looking to have their own place to call home.
Okay.
I think everyone that's renting should have their own place. We believe in home ownership, and we highly endorse it, and that's what we do for a living.
Now, historically, the last 4 or 5, 6 years, is it harder or easier to get a loan these days?
Personally, I believe that it's not as easy as it was before the bubble burst. Unfortunately, during that time, the financing was too lenient to an extent where
That's what caused the problem,
themselves.
huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So nowadays a little more cautious, but nonetheless lots of programs, and the government wants you to own a house. Definitely, if you never own a property, a lot of people are skeptic because they believe it's really hard to get qualified, when in reality it's not. So it's just every case is different, and we do look at individual cases.
Now, here where I live in the Tower District, a lot of people are paying $1,200 or $1,300 a month rent. And it turns out maybe they could buy and their payment's only $1,000 a month to buy. It's cheaper to buy.
That's correct.
Now, rent goes up every year. Every year it goes up. It goes up. If you buy a house, does it go up every year?
No,
It
they're
stays
all
the same.
Yes, they're
20,
fixed.
30 years, it stays the same.
It's all fixed.
Wow. Yeah. Fixed rate. Now, so if somebody's been on the job a year or so, or 2 years, how long do they need on the job?
Definitely, if someone's been in the same line of work for 2 years or longer, they don't have a minimum. Someone that's going to school to become a professional, they only need 1 day at their job. So
One day. Wow.
it's really flexible, and it does depend. But overall, we look at a total of a 2-year work history.
Okay.
But it does not have to be consistent, and it does not have to be the same job.
Okay. Just as long as you've been working straight through for 2 years.
Yes.
Now, you have to have like what, 10,000, 20,000 down. What do you need down?
Moy, what do you think on that?
Well, like you're actually hitting a good point. There's a lot of myths on what you need to have, what credit score you need to have, what kind of savings I need to have to be able to buy a house. So really, it's in a case-by-case scenario depending on the big picture, everything that's taken into consideration. So I guess there's not really a set dollar amount, because if you want to buy a $100,000 house versus a $300,000 house, it's going
to be different. Now, you said there's some, for first-time home buyers, maybe a little break that they don't have to come up with so much money?
Yes, we work a lot with programs that help the first-time home buyers buy their first home. There's requirements, credit score, there's a minimum of 640, there's income limitations, so every case is very specific. But for the people that do qualify and they get the full benefit of the program, they could come in with as little as $1,000 to buy a home.
Oh my gosh! So why wouldn't somebody call? Tell you what. So if somebody in the tower, some people I know, they're paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 a month in rent.
Yes.
And they can raise even $1,000. They should just ask you. They should call you and find out.
It only takes a phone call, so it's very simple.
How much does it cost to find out?
There's no cost.
It's free to find out?
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
If you're watching and you're renting, paying $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, call Moises and Pablo and find out.
Yes.
You'll run it through. And do you ever find that maybe they have a little speed bump in their credit, and you can say, well, come back in a month, or do this and come back in 2 months?
And we help them with that. So what happens is, if someone wants to get a loan, they come in and their credit is not up to par where it needs to be, we can guide them on how they can get their credit better.
Okay.
So like I said, if they will give us a phone call, we'll guide them all the way through. So it only takes that phone call.
Now, what do they need if you say, okay, I think I can get you a loan, bring me these documents? What would they need to bring in?
The basic documentation is your 30 days of pay stubs,
Okay.
last 2 years of taxes and your W-2s, last 2 months bank statements, their ID, and Social Security card. So it's 5 items.
So if you haven't filed your taxes, go file them real quick, get them, and then come and show them to Pablo and Moises. Well, it sounds like you guys make it easy to buy a house, and maybe somebody that's a first-time home buyer can get in for very low down. What is a first-time home buyer? Some people are confused on that. It means some people think it's somebody who's never bought a house. Is that the case?
Well, technically, by definition, it's someone that hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years.
3 years. So if you haven't owned, and a lot of us, not us, maybe us, lost our homes in the last 8 years or 5 years or 3 years, those could be first-time home buyers.
3 years, correct.
Maybe qualify for some help.
Correct.
Okay. And
Yes. One thing people don't know is that after losing a home. Unfortunately, a lot of people went through that, and people are ashamed of it. And they come to find out when they talk to us that a lot of people went through it. It is unreal. So after 3 years is the minimum. There's actually programs that let you do it with less than 3 years if it was through a financial hardship.
Okay, so maybe if you, a couple of years, maybe 2 years, you had a hardship. Well, most people lost their home because of a hardship, that's for sure. But they could talk to you and maybe you could get them into another home.
That is correct.
Okay. Rents are going to go up fast. There's a shortage of houses out there. Rents are going to go up. So you want to get into a house now before rents go up too much and too fast. So call Moises or call Pablo. If you're even thinking of buying a house, it's free to find out. And if you can't qualify right now, maybe they'll help you, set you on the path to making sure they can get there in a couple months. Now, I have an interesting question for you. If somebody has a home already and they have a loan, and the rate's a little high, can they refinance and get a lower rate?
Yes. Historically speaking, the rates are still low. Rates have been climbing, and they will be going up next year. It's what they're estimating to happen. But nonetheless, the rates are where they're at right now. They're historically low. A lot of people will find themselves having a 5%, 6% interest rate. Most of those people are going to be able to benefit from a refinance.
Get it lowered.
Yes, get it lowered.
Now, let's say they've owned the house 15 years or something, and they want to maybe pull some money out to pay for college or do some repairs on the house even.
Yes.
Is that a possibility?
Yes, you can finance up to 80% of your primary home. And so if you have some equity on there, you can go up to the 80 and cash out the balance or less, depending on the situation.
By the way, if you do a loan where you pull money out of your house, even to buy a car or something, you don't have to pay taxes on that money.
That is correct.
It's tax-free money when you borrow against yourself like that. Now, so if somebody is has a rate and they're not sure, 5-6%, if they're not sure, they can call you and you can find out if you can save them money?
Yes.
Yeah.
With a phone call, we'll give them the information and we'll ask them what they need to find out for us. So even if you don't know what you need, I ask everyone to give us a phone call, and we'll be more than happy to guide you every step of the way.
Now, I have a little real estate business, you may have heard, but I work with investors. And what's slowing us down with the investors is for investment property, they buy a property they want to fix up and rent. They always want 25 to 50% down, and it's prohibitive for a lot of people. Do you have any programs like that?
Yes, we actually have financing for investors. We work a lot with them, and we have programs where you only need a 15% down.
15% down.
We'll finance 85% of the project.
That would be great. So, they put up 15%, and they could get the house, fix it up, either keep it as a rental or sell it.
Yes, and some lenders have to make sure you qualify with all the payments on the new mortgage. With us, we're able to use some future rental that should be coming in from the investment. It's making it easier to qualify.
Wow, it's way easier to qualify. Now, tell us about the name of your company, and tell us about your company a little bit.
So we work for HomeBridge Financial. We're located here in Fresno, by Herndon and Palm area, and we've been doing this for over 12 years. And what we do is mortgage lending for first-time buyers, second homes, someone that's wanting to buy a house in the coast, in the beach, vacation home, rental properties, investment properties. That's what we do.
By the way, I was up to the mountains the other day, and you could buy a mountain home, a vacation home, $200,000. You could buy one. Remember, they were $400,000 or $500,000 just a few years ago, and the prices have really dropped on those. So now's the time. If you've even been thinking of it, call Moises or Pablo and ask them about getting into a vacation home.
Yes, sir.
If you're an investor, call Pablo or Moises and find out about getting those loans. Those are good loans.
Yes, definitely.
And what else do you want our viewers to know?
Anything more?
Well, I mean, as you're touching on these points, like why haven't people started the process? And there's no cost. I mean, some places will charge you maybe a credit report or minimal fee, whatever, to get you the information. We won't charge you anything. We'll sit down with you, go step by step, what you need to do if you need some work and help you get there, because our goal is the same goal as whoever comes to us.
Yeah.
Help you buy a house.
Well, one more problem I'm having in my buyers is most of my buyers speak Spanish, and I cannot find a lender who speaks Spanish. And I think people really need to understand what they're getting into. Anybody speak Spanish over at your company?
In our office, our team, it's 9 people strong. and every single one of us are bilingual.
That's pretty good.
So
That's
therefore, we take really good care of all of our customers, including the Spanish-only speakers, and so they'll be very well treated.
And, you know, over half of my customers, either the husband or the wife or the grandma or somebody doesn't speak English that well, and it's awkward because I want people to understand before they sign those papers, and I love to have a Spanish speaker there to help with that. Well, HomeBridge, that's great. Where do they start? Should they call you direct, or should they go to your website? Where should they go to get started?
Our phone number is on the screen. It's 559-490-2711. That is our office phone number, and myself and Moises are usually always in the office, but we have an entire staff. So the fact that we're here doing the show, our office is still moving forward. Anyone can go ahead and call in, and they'll be taken care of. And we have a Facebook page as well.
Oh, good. Just go to Facebook and type HomeBridge or HomeBridge Fresno.
Our Facebook is it will be under Team Pablo 2016.
Team Pablo 2016.
Yes.
Very good. I'm excited about you guys being here. I'm glad you
so
came.
much.
So we don't
Appreciate
get a lot of blenders on our show, but call Pablo or Moises at 490-2711. And should they ask for you or just talk to anybody on the team?
Who will answer the phone is part of our team members, so they will be able to guide them to speak with us. So we will be able to talk directly with the customer, or they'll be passed to another loan officer that's available.
Okay, somebody that will help. They'll speak Spanish, they have experience, first-time home buyers, investors. They have a great program for investors, 15% down, and you might be able to count part of your future income towards a payment.
Yes,
That's
sir.
fantastic. And finally, if you, not finally, but if you're looking for a vacation home, they have a specialty there. Those are hard to do sometimes because you already have a home and it's complicated, and prices are still so low. And finally, if you have been in your home a little while, you should ask them about refinancing to drop that payment. Why would you keep making a higher payment if you could just,
Take advantage of the low
refinance?
rates.
Last thoughts? We're out of time, but you okay?
I would look forward hearing from you guys, and please give us a phone call and check our website.
Okay, Pablo Estrada from Team Pablo and
Yes,
Moises from Team Pablo.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for watching the Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We got some more guests coming right up.